न्यूज एंड न्यूज, देखिए सिर्फ हकीकत।
Folks, welcome again to the brand new season 2 episode of the Reba Aya Show News and News Network. My guest of today reminds me of a novelist and a writer, E.R. Braithwaite, whose famous novel To Serve with Love talks about students, teachers, love, empathy, etc. etc. On our show today, we have none other than the educationist, the philanthropist, and the president of Ekata Manch, Mr. Ajay Kaul. Sir, welcome to the show.
Welcome. Thank you so much.
You reminded me of E.R. Braithwaite, To Serve with Love. You were awarded as the best teacher from the government of Maharashtra. How did this happen, sir?
I started my career way back in 1981. Just started in a small school at Warsaw village, which is supposed to be a fishing village. So with just 30 students, just made a beginning and started with this school. And initially, if you know, way back in 1981, it was so difficult to impart education, and especially to the underprivileged class of the society. But gradually, initially when I started with this school in 1981, we did not have sufficient accommodation to accommodate the students. So the classes were going on at 3 different places, and with cooperation from the Bombay Municipal Corporation, we could manage to get a piece of land. And that is how you see a school and a college which is constructed here. And today we have got 4,000 students who are learning from this institution.
I met Mr. Ajay Kaul ji, and he's a lovely host. First of all, let me tell you this. If you are at his place, he will not allow you to leave without having lunch or dinner. A great human being, lot of empathy, and a power to see things beyond obvious. We'll talk about the current education scenario in India, because statistically, I feel that education in India has grown. So, do you agree with it as compared to yesteryears?
Yes. When I started in 1981, basically what the parents expected, good discipline and good education. But times have changed. Today, the expectation also of the parents have been totally different. But I still feel in today's education, with all technology, with all the current system of education, where we are still lacking is value education. I think a lot of stress today has to be laid on value education. That's most important.
Value education, we'll try to find out something more about. So, what exactly is your definition of value education? Like, is it what you learn outside the school?
Basically, as we have during the olden times, what we have witnessed is the Gurukul system, Guru Shishya relationship. I strongly believe in Guru Shishya relationship, respect for your parents, respect for your teachers. Then you should have the atmosphere of communal harmony in the society, respect all religion. You see, these are the basic values which has to be inculcated amongst a child. And there I feel something is missing.
So, taking into consideration the today's educational system, where you just mentioned about the Gurukul, and then you talk about the modern education where we hear things like boards, the SSC board, the ICSE board, the CBSE board, international board, and all that stuff. I think, is there going to be a paradigm shift in the future about these board scenario?
This is a very debatable issue, because when we speak about the performance of the students and as far as the examination is concerned, the evaluation system that today we are seeing is basically, we say the right to education, every child should be given the best of education, and education has become compulsory up to the 8th standard level. But I felt, the evaluation system was very, very important, because it is, most of the parents still have not understood, because many a times parents do take advantage of the procedure of promoting the child to the next class. So basically when you see, their foundation remains weak. So somewhere an evaluation pattern is of prime importance, where the child has to be evaluated throughout the year. So that's, I feel, is my concern, that the same system which was there earlier, the system of examination, should really be introduced.
There's this the concept of mohalla committee. Mohalla committee is basically it's a very localized kind of a network where some responsible people are in touch with the society and people around them, and they help them to solve their problems and issues, and they are in touch with the local police thanas and authorities. Ajay Kaul Saab is the honorary secretary of Mohalla Committee, and he's amongst one of those founder members, along with our ex-commissioner, if you remember, Julio Ribeiro. Just tell me something more about that. How did this happen?
Mohalla Committee Movement Trust was formed in 92-93 after the riots in Mumbai. Former Commissioner of Police, Mr. Satish Sahani, he took an initiative of forming this Mohalla Committee along with Mr. Julio Ribeiro. They took a lead in forming Mohalla Committee Movement Trust. Basically, they wanted to get all the communities together and to maintain peace and harmony in this society, because they had seen the after effects of the riots in 92. So basically, this Mohalla Committee functions in the entire jurisdiction of the police stations in the city of Mumbai. We try to get people from all communities together, and to achieve this object, we undertake number of activities. Like every year, we have cricket for peace matches where we involve the youth. Basically, when we speak about cricket for peace matches, Mr. Ribeiro felt that if we see the match was a ground for disharmony. Like you see many times when there was India-Pakistan matches, that used to lead to a tense atmosphere in the society. So they felt if we have cricket for peace, so the word peace was used, where youth from all communities, that is Hindu, Muslim, Christian, and one policeman also plays in these matches. So basically to bridge the gap between community was our basic object. Then for the small children, we have peace poster contest every year, where right from the beginning at a very tender age, we try to create that feeling of unity and oneness amongst the children. For the women, we have women's cells and also trying to touch all the different sections of the societies and try to get people together.
I just spoke to Mr. Ajay Kaul the other day, and he was a witness to 93, 92 riots. And I think what he has seen is something from very close quarters. And after seeing those riots, he told me that he was mentally very disturbed. And with the advent of time in the year 1996, Ekata was born, an NGO which is run by him. He happens to be the president. Name any issue, social issue, women empowerment, civic issues, communal harmony. Am I correct that 92, 93 was the reason why Ekata was born?
Yes, because basically Mohalla Committee Movement Trust, they have a set agenda that basically it's communal harmony. So generally what we do every month, we have a meeting as far as getting all the members together. But basically communal harmony is the main focus that they have laid on. Now, what has happened since the times have changed after 92, 93? The demands of the people also started increasing, because number of issues came to our notice where we felt they had civic related issues. They had issues as far as animal activists were concerned. They were concerned about the animal welfare. Then for the senior citizens, accordingly what we decided, we formed a trust in 1996 named as Ekata Manch. Now Ekata Manch is working since then, whether there is any natural calamity, natural disaster, Ekata Manch is always in the forefront, whether it is the flood affected areas in the state of Maharashtra, Jammu, Kashmir. Yes, even in the entire India, if you say, Ekata Manch has worked, whether it is during the Kashmir floods or Kerala. All these places, Ekata Manch has always taken an initiative in whichever capacity they could send goods and all to these other places. Apart from that, for animal welfare, during COVID, I think innumerable work was carried out by Ekata Manch. So You name it, and Ekta Manch is always in the forefront. Just trying to again work for the society, for the benefit of the society.
They feed people on mass level, on a daily basis. They have got their community fridge, where anybody who's hungry can just open the fridge and eat whatever he wants. He makes sure that everything is fresh as oven, We'll just find out that with so much of activities around, his mind is like 24/7, revolving in the welfare of the human, the society, the social welfare, the activities, the education front. Let's ask him if he's ready to say, what does he do in his leisure? How do you pass your time when you're alone?
Basically, to be very honest with you, since morning to late in the evenings, I'm surrounded by people because they have some of the issues cropping up, and in whichever capacity I can lend a small help to them, I'm always willing to do that. So as far as leisure is concerned, there is no specific leisure time that I have, but when I go home, I make it a point, at least half an hour I keep it for myself to watch a movie or some serial, That is the only leisure time that I have.
On the 15th of August, Ekata Manch is organizing a huge event at Oshiwara. The hallmark of this event, or the main part of the event, is this is for the first time that the armed forces, the Air Force, the Army, the Navy, all the retired as well as martyred will be felicitated by his NGO, Ekata Manch. How did you gather all of them?
It was just through contacts, I started approaching people, and through contacts, suppose I met a colonel from Oshiwara. He helped in inviting 3-4 ex-army men. In the similar way, it went on, and now today we have 15 defense personnel who would be awarded, and 2 are martyrs who have lost their lives during the Kargil war. So we are really fortunate that we will honor their families, because their bold families have lost them, and I think every Indian is proud of them. So I thought that's an opportunity, because we just thought just celebrating Independence Day, I think this would be more meaningful, and definitely it would give a good message to the society that people due to whom we are safe, they should be honored.
Hats off to his thought process. News and News will always be there. We'll be there to cover your entire event. My cast and my entire unit will be there, and we'll try to make it more reachable. That was Ajay Kaul. The smile on his face, has an ability to launch 1,000 ships. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Keep watching News and News.
देश और दुनिया की ताजा तरीन खबरों के लिए देखते रहिए न्यूज़ एंड न्यूज़। देखिए सिर्फ हकीकत।